Hey y'all, welcome to or welcome back to our very bookish channel, and a welcome to two opinions on the viral book Rites of the Starling in under 10 minutes. If you have not watched one of our viral video books, let me just tell you how this works. Jen and I will pick a book that's going viral, either on TikTok or Instagram, or that's just flying off the shelves at the bookstore. We both read it, and we each give an opinion on the book in under 10 minutes. So first, we're going to do Jen's opinion, and then we're going to do my opinion. But if you watch the whole thing through, then you'll get two opinions on the same viral book. We don't always agree. So don't just assume that if Jen liked it, I'm going to like it, or if Jen hated it, I'm gonna hate it, or she had the same thoughts and feelings that I did, because we don't always agree on books. And if you don't believe me, then check out this video that we did for Viral Book Series, because those were very different opinions.
Hey guys, Jen here, and this is my opinion of Rites of the Starling, which is the follow-up to Shield of Sparrows. If you have seen the first video that we made on Shield of Sparrows for our viral book series, I wasn't exactly impressed. It wasn't a book that I felt riveted to, and if I hadn't listened to the audio, I'm pretty sure I probably would have DNF'd it, but I wasn't as enthralled as a lot of people were with that book. And when I heard Rites of the Starling was coming out, I was mildly interested just because it did leave off on a cliffhanger in the first one, and I thought, well, I'll at least try it and see if it's something that I am going to be interested in. I can always DNF it. I decided to do audio again, and since that was successful the first time, I was shocked because I loved it. I loved it so much, and it felt almost surprising and shocking that I loved it as much as I did. I felt very invested in the story, and I think because of a couple reasons. It's told in a different way than the first one, and when I say that, I mean there is a dual point of view. You get Odessa, of course, who is the main character in the first one, and the other point of view, at first I was confused, and to be honest, I started to be so confused. I thought, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Maybe I'm forgetting something from the first one, and it's just me, and I don't know who this is. But I was glad that I pushed through that confusion, because the other character, who is named Caspia, you keep waiting to see how this character fits into the rest of what's going on. And I started to have some theories as I was going deeper into the book, and I was kind of right. I loved that it was told in the way it was. I think that's why I loved it so much. There were definitely more, I don't know if you would say battle scenes. There were more monsters, not so much description of monsters, but just more scenes of them having to escape monsters. And you do get a dose of Odessa and Ransom as well. And I won't say any more about that because I don't want to spoil anything. I really enjoyed this book a lot. I now want to read the next one a lot. I'm hoping that it continues to keep my interest. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world, but I really, really, really enjoyed this. It was a very pleasant surprise because I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. That was my opinion. I know a lot of people are talking about how much they love this one, but I think a lot of those people also really loved the first one. So I am someone who wasn't as enthralled with the first one. This one I gave more stars to than the first one. I gave this 4 stars, and I was tempted to even give it 4.5 stars because of just how entertained I was. And yeah, if I could give half stars on Goodreads, it would be 4.5 stars. That's how much I enjoyed this book, and surprised the hell out of me, I gotta tell you. I am very curious to see Amanda's thoughts on this. I know she felt kind of the same as me for the first one. very curious to see how she feels about this one.
First, y'all, look how gorgeous this book is. I love this book. I think it's so pretty. I like that it's shiny. I like the purple, hints of purple. The first book in the series, Shield of Sparrows, was very pretty as well, but for some reason, this is just striking for me. The sprayed edges are gorgeous, and this is just the first run print of the book. Like, anyone can buy this book. This isn't a Lumicrate or Owl Crate or any special edition. It's just the book, and it's so pretty. On the inside too, the naked hardcover, which I don't ever read with these things on. I don't know. I don't ever read with those on. So I'm always looking at the naked hardcover when I'm reading hardcover books. And it's so nice to have one that has a pretty picture on it, especially the gold foil. And on the inside, look how pretty. Look how pretty the end pages are. They're both the same, which I do like it when there's different end pages, because then you have different things to look at. But it was just gorgeous, and like there's pretty font. Anyways, I really enjoyed physically reading this book because the book was just gorgeous and I liked looking at it all the time. But I also really enjoyed reading this book because the story, the writing, it was all so good. I feel like there's been a lot of growth between the first book and this book. I enjoyed this book so much more than the first book. I enjoyed the first book, don't get me wrong, but I liked this book even more. I felt like the characters felt more in depth. I felt like more connected and into the world. The world building was fantastic. I felt like the second storyline you get of Caspia, I loved her storyline. I liked Caspia's storyline in this book even a little bit more than Odessa's. And Odessa is the FMC in the first book and this book. You're basically following Odessa probably through the rest of the series. I think this is going to be a trilogy unless they change it. I think there's one more book coming out. But Odessa is the main character you're going to follow through all of the books. But I really enjoyed reading Caspia's story even more than Odessa's in this book. But the way the ending ties everything together and you like start to realize what's going on and like how all the pieces fit together just was like fantastic. It was just a little bit mind-blowing. Like I was just like, I could almost feel the cogs in my head like spinning, like oh, like I get it, you know. And I love that about books. I love when they make you think a little bit but all the pieces start coming together. And it made me also very excited to continue the story, because now I feel like in this book more so than in Shield of Sparrows, I felt like the ending, there's more of a purpose, there's more of a reason to continue, there's more at stake for these characters. And I think that that's also a good sign for the series as a whole. It keeps the series progressing and it keeps leveling up the stakes. You keep getting more information on the world. I've said this before in more videos, so if you're someone that watches all our videos, you've probably heard me say this, but I love series that build and build and build and build. That way you don't get bored, that way it doesn't die out, that way you keep your interest. And I think that this is a great example of a very good follow-up book. I did rate this book 5 stars on Goodreads. I don't know, I couldn't find anything wrong with the book. My only little complaint, and I guess if Goodreads had half stars, then I would have rated it 4.5 stars. But my only thing is, like, I would have liked to like Odessa's story more. Like, I would have liked to evenly like Odessa's storyline and Caspia's storyline, and I just felt like I wanted more of Caspia's storyline. I just felt more excited to read her storyline, and it would have been a perfect book if they were equal to me, but for whatever reason, and I don't know why, they weren't equal. I think that honestly, if I really think about it, I think that I just, for some reason, I'm not fully connecting with Odessa's character. I just think that she seems kind of like one-dimensional to me. Like she doesn't feel very real. Like I don't feel her emotions like I do the other characters, like I did Caspia's character. I really felt Caspia's emotions, and for some reason there's some disconnect between me and Odessa. Even though I like her, she doesn't bother me or anything, and it's good, but there's just a little disconnect there. But I think that can be fixed moving on later in the story as the story progresses and in the next books. And I am really excited. I'm more excited now for the third book coming out than I was for for this book coming out after the end of the first one. I think this is fantastic. If you're someone that read the first book, wasn't like too impressed, and was unsure about picking up the second book, I would say please go out and read the second book, because it gets better. In my opinion, it gets better.
Let us know what your thoughts are. Have you read either Shield of Sparrows or Rites of the Starling? Do you plan on reading any of them? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time.